So I've been out here for about like 25 days or more, 25 plus days. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and talk about this topic. A lot of people they want to roll with the sovereignty movement now. Um, it's lucrative. It is a lot of money in it. It's just like anything else. So it's a business, a multi-level market. It's really more than a business. You can't really put that term on it. However, that's the term I got to use because that's what you understand. So that's the term that I have to use. If I get into like legal jargon, it may throw you off. So I don't want to like confuse you with any of that. But I want to kind of talk about lawyers. When you start making money in sovereignty for yourself, making money in sovereignty looks pretty much like you pretty much have a source of income that you produce some kind of way with your hands or your mind or both. And if you use your mind and not your hands, I mean, you can't capitalize as much off of it. The more, put it this way, the more that you physically get involved in what you do to make money, the more money you can make. It's not that you won't make money from the mental realm. Like if you like people that work, like for instance, like data entry and behind the scenes type of work that they don't have to do a lot of physical effort, or they still can benefit physically from doing it for their like from creating a business opportunity for themselves. However, it's a lot better when you essentially work with your hands and more aspects of your body can make more and more money. And really, this is the only way for you to secure like a certain amount of commodities is a good word to put on that. It's the only way that you can secure a certain amount of commodities to kind of build up credit for yourself. Eventually, you have to have a certain amount of commodities to build up credit. So once you build up a certain amount of commodities, now you're in the credit realm, in the realm of credit. And you start making money and stuff like that. And you can, it's a lot of stuff, of course, you can do with credit. Credit is deep. Like, you can do short sales, you can buy stuff overnight and sell it. You can buy houses. Like people that say, you see those signs and they say, we flip houses. That's essentially what they're doing. They're working in the credit realm. People that open up check cash businesses. They get a loan from a higher level institution that's giving them a loan and they loan money out to other people and get a percentage, kind of like a broker percentage, but they have to loan out a certain amount of money every year to keep their financial line of credit going. So when you get into sovereignty, what you're doing is you're using your social security number, which is already tied into a certain amount of commodities and credit, and you're beginning to visa the commodities tied into your social security number and taking them back as yours. And this is a, believe it or not, a 25-year process to become fully sovereign from our research. But when you get into different years and levels of it, of course, you get certain access levels. And this is controlled by a computer, believe it or not. So the stuff that I'm telling you is not made up because it's controlled by a computer. And it's essentially what it is that it can be recorded, it can be tracked. And the data and the money and stuff like that that you make is being stored somewhere on a supercomputer. So what happened with me is like I was telling you some of the events that happen when you're a sovereign, you have very little protection. So we don't really use lawyers. Lawyers, I mean, we use them, but you have to know how to use them. That's what this video is about. Excuse me, I don't want to say that. We use attorneys and lawyers, but you have to know how to use them because an attorney and a lawyer can extort you as a sovereign. And that's what kind of started happening with myself. I'm not going to go into what exactly happened and how I got extorted, but lawyers can extort you if you don't know how to protect yourself. And the best way to protect yourself from an attorney is to always have a overseas property or location. So that's why I established this over here where I'm at. This is overseas where I'm at, literally. And it's worth so far about 50K. And within like a short period of time, we invested, and I'm claiming every dollar of it because of the situation that happened with myself and being extorted. I came out here and they saw that I had a little money. And I mean, it's happened to me plenty of times. And I'm not gonna say they in this area, but people followed me here and extorted me. I don't really know where they were from, and it doesn't matter because that's not my point of this video. My point of this video is that I'm talking about something from the Emperor Z video, actually, for you guys that are interested in what I'm talking about as far as the extortion part. Visit that video. We can talk about all that later and the robberies and all of that. But I'm talking about how to actually protect yourself 100%, even if you working with lawyers, because they make their deal with the Bar Association, right? You gotta think about that. That's a secret society. That's an institution, and that's their number one allegiance for them to practice. So that's why you can never telling the attorney, like street dudes out there know this got plenty of money, like millions of dollars. You can never tell them everything. And they probably will be investigating you when you leave the office, or more than likely. So you have to have a way. That's why I'm so visible and doing stuff, because you have to have a way to be able to be who you are and say who you are without the control of like street dudes having to. They can't say certain stuff, or you know what I'm saying. The statutes and limitations be on them because they don't know how to actually. See, it's a statute of limitation on what you can and can't say, because they don't know how to operate within the legal system. Anything that they're charging you with, they have to visa and pay money to charge you with this stuff. So you have to know what they're doing and what exactly is going on, so you can a lot of times avoid a lot of their charges. Like, they follow me, they go buy stuff behind you. These are called reference points. When you cross overseas, the attorneys and stuff will still track you, but they use referrals. They got people in all these areas. They're master marketing genius. They worth, lawyers are worth a lot of times more than the entertainers. So that's why I had to like become sovereign to take back my act. And come to find out, I should have been practicing sovereignty from the day I was born. You know what I'm saying? So it's not nothing against lawyers and attorneys. We work with you guys. I got plenty of them I work with and love and care about, support. So it's not that, but it's just to let people know from a knowledge standpoint that all attorneys aren't for your best interests. And in any, just like in anything though, it's not just attorneys. We don't have to pick on them. But any business partner, anytime you do business, you're opening yourself up for extortion, robbery, resources being frozen, people setting you up and stuff like that. And it's just like the streets, and even more grimy though. Like, you guys on the streets hustling, and you know, these girls that get with dope boys and this and that, and they like, man, his lifestyle is so grimy and dirty. It's like, you ain't seen the tip of the iceberg when you get involved in the legal system. You ain't even seen the tip of the iceberg. And the stuff I'm telling you about aliens, extraterrestrials, they fully know that stuff. Fully know it's true. So it's words to the wise, man. Like, these attorneys, they can put you in scenarios. I watched this episode. I'm gonna leave you with this. It was an episode on Law and Order. It was about a group of attorneys that met these homeless guys, and they found out these homeless guys had, I've talked about this before, had millions of dollars in their name, right? These females extorted them, took their money, gave their names, identities to men that were more, you know, pleasing to the eye and more, you know, sophisticated, left the bums out there, and then had a term life insurance policy on them, though. Deep shit. This actually was a Law and Order episode. It was based on true events, because I've met people that went through this. I've met homeless people in Georgia that was living like that. They seasoned me on that. I met a guy, man, he had to burn his birth certificate and everything from getting involved with a female that just couldn't get enough of taking his money. And it's not to knock females. I'm not saying that, because sometimes they can help you. And if you're a bum in that scenario, I will say this, if you're a bum in that scenario, you might need somebody to come and break you off a few dollars to get you out of that. You ain't doing nothing with those bonds. So I'm not saying all the time when people come help homeless people on that level that they're wrong, but I'm just saying that if you know you getting money and stupid money off this dude, he's just out there doing nothing, instead of leaving them for dead, why don't you come by and visit them and break them off money from time to time? But they can't, because they make their oath with the Bar Association. And a lot of the information that they get, they're not even supposed to know it anyway. So that's why they kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff. So a lot of it is psychological. Our control in the matrix, MK Ultra, psychological. A lot of it is what we're taught, and just people want to stay secret and private, and their little comfort zone, you know? And that creates a lot of times problems. That's kind of how this scenario that I'm in, what it's turned into. It starts with a small little scenario. You know, it's not to knock the people in my soul group, going back to the Emperor Z video again, but it starts with a small little spatter, a little fight over something that turns into a much bigger problem. It's worth millions of dollars. And that's kind of what it's turned into now, but we can capitalize off these things just like anything else. So you guys stay vigilant, man. I'm going to go ahead and shut down and get my food. Just want to holler at you guys. 13 Signs Astrology YouTube channel. As always, keep supporting, send the donations to our PayPal account, which is 13signsastrology@gmail.com is our email for PayPal. The name on the account, all caps, is Rasheen Young on that account, which is a straw man name that I was born with. And we took that back. It turned it into Secure Party Creditor account. We'll talk more about that in the future. You guys stay vigilant. Have a good day. Namaste.